Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And today, no gameplay, we're going to be speculating again on what could be, the next few incoming units based on very vague things that are in the game that I'm going to pull out of my ass because I just kind of want to talk about it and, get everyone's thoughts on it. But right now, we have the Celebration Metal Bazaar Part 1. Part 1, I might add. So they never put a Part 1 if there's not going to be a Part 2. So we know that eventually, maybe when 143 days is up, we will get a Part 2 Bazaar, or, before that, I don't know. But this shop has a few things. The EX ticket I've already bought, the Shard, the discounted multi for the Season 3 banner alongside the full price tickets for it, and then a whole bunch of gear. And these three units up here: Dark Diablo, Space Ranga, Wind Millum. Today we're going to be talking about these specific gear pieces, though, and what it could maybe allude to in the future. So, Fire Book, Water Lance, Wind Claw, Space Claw, Earth Book, Light Sword, and Dark Claw. Now, the question that I'm going to pose is, do these weapons foretell the future? Are we fortune telling out of these weapons right here? Because, fire books, not used very often. Water lance, we haven't really used one since Wielder of Magic Shinsha or something like that. Light swords, we just got Exalted Champion Rimuru, who uses a light sword. So if they wanted to give us a quote-unquote free way of getting a awakened sword for him, you could just buy it out of the shop. Same with the claws. However, that's where things come into a little play, because the Wind Claw, the new Exalted Champion Millum can use, right? I took mine off of the old OG Wind Millum and made it for the new one. That's fine and all. But there is this one here. There's also these three units up here. Claw, Claw, Claw. Dark, Space, Wind. Dark, Space, Wind. So it could be easily, looked at and said, okay, well, these three weapons are gimmies because they apply to these three characters up here, which is totally fine, right? If they want to give us a free actual copy of these characters, then why not give us a free copy of their weapon as well? It totally makes sense. And if that was the actual true developer reason for putting these three in here, sure, fine. That covers three weapons. There's still four here. And the light sword is already taken by the new Exalted Champion Rimuru, which then leaves an Earth Book, a Fire Book, and a Water Lance. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but there are no physical characters that use books. Strangely enough, you don't go up and just smack someone with a book, unlike what John Wick is doing, and breaking people's necks up in a library over a book. So options for these are limited to magic characters, and, the free-to-play Earth Eldora, he already has gear. He's an Earth unit, sure. He uses a hammer, and he uses his own specific hammer. So Earth Book is pretty much like Earth Lumi, Mirren, Trainee, these kinds of characters. And then the Fire Book is, what, Fire Benny Maru or something? You have your own weapon, Violet has her own weapon, you're a sword, you're a staff, you're a staff, I think. Yeah, no, you're a hammer. Sorry, you're hammering people away with that microphone. You're a katana. Yeah, we don't have a lot of characters that use fire books, per se. Just Fire Benimaru, actually, because everyone else is friggin' physical. So, options for that are limited. So, are we going to get units in the future who use an Earth Book, a Fire Book, and a Water Lance? Do these three actual weapons right here, are they meant to only correspond to these three characters up here? Or, because we could also give this to the new Millum, are we going to get a Dark Claw character and a Space Claw character within these 143 days, and that we could buy all of the gear for all of these new units to come out? It's not going to get everybody, because obviously Guy is not in here, right? Space Guy uses a Space Lance, which we just made one for Diablo and Blanc, so not really a big deal that he's not in here. And then the new masked hero that's coming tonight as of recording this, I mean, she's holding a sword. So, and she's wind, and there is no wind sword in here. So, obviously it's not going to be for every character if they were going to go about it in this kind of manner. But this is covered on both sides. The sword is covered from new Rimuru. These claws are covered up here. Earth book. So an Earth magic character may be on the horizon. Earth is continually, obviously, hilariously shafted among all of the elements combined. It's really, really bad. If we take a look at it, I have the spreadsheet here. We look at the ability board, and there is just a gigantic gap in between Earth and then, I guess Light, because I haven't filled out Rimuru's yet, and we can add Masked Hero here for tonight. But yeah, there's quite a large gap of unit count for Earth between almost every. I mean, Fire is only 2 behind or 2 ahead right now, but still we don't get a lot of Fire units either. So Earth book. I mean, I could always use more Earth characters. Earth magic meta. We're in a magic meta right now. They've done physicals back to back before that, so it stands to reason that we could get another magic meta after this one, maybe crit focused, since we've gotten so many Pierce ones, and now we have Synergy, and Exalted Champions is a Pierce focused meta, so we could get a magic crit meta down here, which we haven't really gotten since Stern of Spirit, right? Because Ainz is crit based. So I could see that, and if we get an Earth DPS character, I mean, that would be good, right? More Earth characters in general to fill that sheet out would be very nice. And then looking through the rest of it, we have the Fire book, which, if we're going to go magic, might as well put a Fire character in there too, since it's the second, least represented meta typing element in the game, and we can get a Fire character in there too. Haven't had a Fire magic character since Idol Shuna in December, and then we got Tempest Elite Rimuru, who's physical, uses a sword, so he doesn't really count. So, I mean, there are ways we can spin this, and then we have this random water spear, which is not used very often by anyone, really. There's a lot of water units. There's not a lot of spear units, though. Lance, whatever you want to call it. This would probably be relegated more towards a physical meta, typically. I know Water Shinsha is obviously a magic character, being the DPS of the Wielder of Magic meta, so we can't really argue against that. Where is she? Right here. But she uses a lance. She's not exactly featured on any banners right now, so, I mean, you can't really pull her unless you're summoning on the Season 3 banner. And if we take a look at the featured characters here, it might make a bit of sense, because you don't use a book. No, you don't use a hammer. You use the water lance, so sure. No light lance, sword, claw, great sword, hammer. So, I mean, like, I guess you could say that they put that water spear in case you pull Shinsha here in the 3rd anniversary or 3rd season banner. I guess that might be a little bit too convoluted, though. So I don't really know about that thought process. So I'm much more interested in maybe pretending that these weapons are all meant for incoming new characters, or these 3 up here. So, I mean, Light Reamer's covered, the Wind Claw's double covered, these are single covered, and then we just have these random outliers of books and a spear. So I could see us getting another magic meta for the month of June. Probably going to be bride themed again, since it generally always is bride themed. Again, if we take a look at this, last year we got the Goddess of Destiny meta on the 30th of May. The meta is changing over on the 29th, so very, very close to that. And then the other bride meta was Light 2.0, and that was also on May 30th. And this was Bride Shizu, Bride Shion, and Groom Rimuru, and then some random Daggerel in his normal clothes. He did not get invited to the wedding. So it stands to reason that we would probably get another Bride meta 3 years in a row. So maybe we get a magic bride meta that has an Earth unit. Earth, I'd say Earth Frey, maybe. Some kind of waifu that doesn't get hugely represented right now. And then we can get Fire Albus or something. Who else haven't we had in a while? Not Milim. Not Blanc and Jean. I mean, we could, but I think they'd probably save these two for swimsuit meta if they really wanted to really capitalize on money-making opportunities. We already got swimsuit Shizu. We already have a bride Shizu. Shuna, we got a bride Shuna already. Shizu. No. Violet. I mean, we could do another Earth Magic Lumi and replace the very, very, very old one we have down here. Entirely possible. We could get another Xion. We could get Bride Xion, but we already have one of those two right here. We got free-to-play Aaron for the Protector for Goddess of Destiny, so I don't think she's going to be here. Bride Hinata? I don't really know about that. But I'm sure you could. We could get, Rain and Misery, even though they were just featured last month. Maybe. Bride Shinsha has the free-to-play unit, so, I mean, there's not too many options, but I'm sure they could just always recycle the same waifus over and over again and make them magic, and make one of them fire, and make one of them earth. And then the Lance, we could hold that for the next meta, not June, but July's meta, maybe. And that would probably be the swimsuit meta, the water meta. So it would make sense if we got a water spear user then, too, as well. But that's my thoughts and speculation on this. Let me know what you think about this idea. And if you kind of agree with me, or if you don't, and, why. But that's it for me, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.